Toss everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Flowers and Frequency with Lauren of the Sun, and I am here to share with you today my inspiration, my insight, and some wonderful healing messages from the consciousness of the flower realm. And tonight we will be engaging with the consciousness of the violet flower, one of my most favorite blooms. It holds a very special place in my heart, as it was something that surrounded my childhood. So I am excited to bring forward this joy and this enthusiasm to all of you, and to share in this opportunity for us to grow and expand together through the consciousness of some of our greatest healers in nature, the flowers. But before we begin, just a few brief announcements tonight. Everything is listed in the description of our session notes here tonight. And so what is happening in OfTheSun? We have a few new things coming forward. And tomorrow night, actually, we have DNA activation class. This is brought forth from Tavares of the Sun. And this is an opportunity for those who are new to DNA activation and are interested in this, or those who have already participated in this modality, to come back and receive a healing audit. It has been brought forth to you in a series of 3 sessions. So it is a class for you to go deeper and understand and reconnect with the original blueprint of our divine design by reconnecting the original strands of DNA we were encoded with. So this is really allowing ourselves to go deeper and to access truth and information and understandings that we were designed to be one with, and those are called forward. So if you're interested, tomorrow is the healing audit. If you have already participated, you may join us for this experience in the group setting, or if you're interested to take the class, check it out. It's available. The link is in the description there on the home page of the OfTheSun website. We also have our midday meditation with Diane of the Sun and Lakesh Studio One, bringing us mudras and healing meditations and opportunities to expand ourselves and to stretch ourselves and go deeper in our truth and elevation. We have Thursday, the Call for the Truth podcast with LaOta and Tavares, bringing us insightful wisdom, truth, and solutions to assist us in all of our everyday experiences, to understand and recognize where we are a part of everything and how to operate in the light of the truth to be that solution. And then on Fridays, we have a rotation with Lakesh Studio One. Diane brings us the Evolutionary Book Club on the first Friday of the month, then Divine Nation with the Call for the Truth Divination card readings, and then Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles with Tavares and Tiffany of the Sun, 2 instructors, and then Diane and myself, Quantum Light Property Clearers, sharing our experience, our stories, our genuine gratitude for this service and modality to restore the earth plane, and in process restoring humanity as well. So opportunities for us to stretch ourselves, go deeper, and share what we have been inspired by to gain what there is to be gained. But tonight, shall we go deeper with the consciousness of the flower realm? We have violet consciousness here with us. And I think this is something, at least I've seen in my experience, working in flower shops for many years, has been one of the most traditional flowers, and specifically plants, that people request and are gifted. And we see them not only as living plants gifted, but many products contain violets. So whether that be soaps and lotions or perfumes, we've sold many different toiletries, whether they're art forms or gift cards. The flower violet has been so near and dear to the heart of humanity, and it represents such a simplicity of grace and purity. And I can just remember going back to my childhood, a few experiences, how special it was. I can remember being a little girl and going into the backyard and seeing a lawn filled with violets. And I grew up in Illinois, and so that's the state flower of Illinois. And violets just overtook the backyard in the spring. And I was transcended. I was drawn to just pick their dainty little blooms and make little posies and bring them into my mom, thinking they were just so joyful. And sometimes I would weave flower crowns and place them on my head and just dance with them. They were so lovely. It was actually our code word. My parents had brought forth this understanding that when one of us, and there were four of us kids, one of us needed to kind of calm down or take a moment to start over, one of us would say the word violets. And that was our universal understanding and recognition that, okay, we have to step back for a minute, calm down, recenter, reground. And so I thought that was such a wonderful way for us to incorporate this understanding that we can start over, just as the violet does. It is a cyclical bloom. It comes up in the spring, one of the first blossoms of the spring. So again, in one of those heralds that calls forth new life. So this is an opportunity to call for a new experience. So loved that idea. And then also my grandmother, my great grandmother, she was an avid violet gardener. She would grow them. And every time we went to her house, not a window in the house was uncovered. It had violets everywhere. They lined all of the windows outside and inside. She just had violets everywhere. And so these moments for me hold very special understanding, and it's such an honor to go deeper and bring forward a communication from violet consciousness, but also to share in some of the history and the richness of what this flower is for us. So some of these fun facts about violets, they do come in many colors. And so traditionally we do see the word violet, right, is associated with the crown chakra, the highest chakra center, which is awakening, our spiritual awakening, our divinity, our ascension, and our oneness, right? So we can associate that with the color violet in its understanding and what it brings to us, but it does organically in nature come in other colors. It is part of the family viola. So its scientific name is viola. And so we see these garden violas, violets, pansies, some of these are all interconnected into the same families. But the violet specifically, it comes in this like soft blue tone or periwinkle color, a rich purple. There are pink, lavender, white, yellow. So a rainbow effect here of healing and just delicate nature. There are over 500 species worldwide. And so it makes violets are one of the largest flowering plant groups available and known in nature. They're edible. Not all varieties, but the sweet violet, the violet we're talking about tonight, they're edible. And so this is something that you can actually see. Their leaf structure is extremely high in vitamin C. And so being that they were one of the first blooms and shoots to come up in the spring, our ancestors would actually forage these, and they grow in many different environments, from forests to lawns to mountainside to hills to wooded areas. They spread very quickly, but they're readily available. And so when our ancestors would forage for them, these were some of the first greens that would come up, and they were used in cookings and salads, and the blooms would be made into healing and medicinal teas, and even poultices that would go on the skin. So the violet is very rooted in its assistance to helping humanity. They symbolized modesty and faithfulness because they are just so simple. So to what they do, the bloom itself, this is one of the only blooms that does this. It can shoot up and it creates a very tiny little blossom. And it's cone-like, and it kind of hangs down like a little teardrop, but it doesn't fully open. But it's still available to pollinators to provide the essence that is needed, and then it becomes self-pollinated and inspires more shoots to grow. So what this means is that it really allows itself to reproduce very quickly. So it knows how to spread itself out without having to expose itself completely into all of the elements. It's the source of protection for itself. So we can look at that as representation for us to allow ourselves to continuously reproduce what we need by allowing ourselves to multiply in the higher frequencies. And so it's a wonderful understanding for us to look at that through violet consciousness. We talked about their leaves being heart-shaped. That, or maybe we didn't bring that forward yet, but their leaves are in the heart shape here. And so that is an understanding that is recognition to the love frequency, to the heart aspect. And this is one of their actual healing understandings, is that they open up the heart space. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the wisdom that they bring forward in their communication. They are the state flower of many different states, which I think is also very interesting. It goes to show that they geographically, as we talked about, move and grow in many different climates and cultures. So there is Illinois, there's Wisconsin, there's New Jersey, and Rhode Island. So these are all the states that have worked with violet and brought it forward as its state flower. And they're very easy to grow. So as we said, they spread very easily, very quickly. Their seeds are very small, but the wind and the elements carry their essence where it needs to go. So they're very easy and friendly to grow. So if it's something you're looking to start from seed, a violet is a wonderful way to begin working with that consciousness. So we do have a communication here from the consciousness of violet. And what they bring forth to us tonight is, we are an ally of yours, designed to deliver healing capacity to the mind and heart, shifting your burdensome thoughts and awakening the heart to childlike innocence, a remembrance for you to go back to the beginning to begin anew, as we are representatives of the first blooms of spring. Our delicate nature is simple and sweet, boding the innate properties to circulate new life exponentially. It is written within our design to bring forth creation energy to clear inflammation surrounding the heart and the mind. This is to promote freedom from that which keeps you enslaved, and to resuscitate the truth of one's organic nature. Clearing the heart opens up endless possibilities for the love frequency to bring one into greater relationship with self and other self, healing past wounds that have inflicted congestion to contaminate the purity of one's heart space. Clearing the mind inspires greater discovery and clarity into the enlightenment of your human potential, to move beyond the physical and into your original blueprint with the divine. Engage with us to be placed in a state of steadiness, grounded relaxation, to calm the mind and soothe the senses. We are available and ready to support your memory of truth and to propel you into a space of oneness, returning you to the greatest state of elevation, simply and humbly, as we exist to encourage your growth into all that is you. So there are different understandings the consciousness is bringing forward, but one of the main understandings is to clear the congestion or the contamination surrounding the heart and surrounding the mind. And interestingly enough, the two chakra centers that are represented within their physical anatomy, the leaf structure being that of the heart, and the color, the main color, the most abundant color that you'll find in a sweet violet is that blue lavender, blue violet color. And so that is a very interconnected understanding that the heart and the mind must operate as one. And the essence and the energy of the flower is coming forward to share with us that it is simultaneously clearing the congestion of the heart and of the crown of the mind at the same time, so that we may expand ourselves, multiply ourselves, just as they do organically in nature with the elements, the support of the elements, which is what we can do. Every time we breathe in, there's a new breath. Every time we ground with the earth, we're recharged. These are the essences and the energies of what the elements can do to support the healing from the bloom, to remind us that we too are of same understanding. So to look at that and allow ourselves to go into the heart space. A journal prompt or a meditation prompt this week from Violet. Go to the matters of the heart. Where is it in the heart that there is the congestion? Sit on the ground, sit on the earth, call forth violet consciousness to enter into the mind. Allow yourself to be still with that and ask it to assist in clearing what that congestion is and bring it to the forefront of your mind so you may know and understand in order to effectively move it out of your experience, but to understand what it is you are to know. Because when we have greater clarity, we have greater knowingness of how we can move forward with the lesson that was learned, but the opportunity to expand ourselves, right? So what a wonderful understanding for Violet to bring forward to us, to allow ourselves to sit in this energy and this essence. Another would be to call forth clarity and balance within this understanding. So to know what it's doing also, not only for the heart, but for the mind, to ask the consciousness of Violet to assist with us gaining more clarity within our experiences. Maybe there's something that we are confused about. Maybe there is something that is weighing us down, that is on the mind. So this understanding to allow ourselves to move out of that space and into that steadiness or that grounded relaxation state that they speak about. Something else I think is very interesting that they call to our attention is to move back into childlike innocence. Because let's just say it. Sometimes as we've gotten older, we have forgotten the innocence and the magical essence of what it is to be like a child again. And being that these are some of the first blooms of spring, they are that childlike innocence. They are that purity of heart. That when we call that back into our experience, we find the solution. We find the release. We find the healing energy. Because we go to the simplicity of it. Sometimes we make things too difficult. We overthink. They said that overburdened thoughts that keep our bodies in stress mode, or us spiraling out into this too much overthinking. When we are in our childlike state, we simply act. We simply speak. We simply are pure of heart. And that's the organic truth of all life. So for us to go back into that experience, if there's something that you're seeking solution, go back to the beginning. Allow yourself to simplify it. Call forth violet consciousness to assist you in understanding more of what there is for you to be free from. So those were a few of those thoughts that I thought were very, very special, that violet consciousness wants us to engage with. There are many available outside to us, and you may even see their leaves now, even though the blooms are bloomed out. But when you're outside, you may still connect with their consciousness. If you're going on a hike or a walk out in nature, you may find them and see them. Again, they grow in a multitude of locations, but even just wherever you are, if you're in a store or a flower shop or a grocery store, you may see other forms of violets. African violets are extremely popular and cultivated to be indoor bred plants here. And this is the same consciousness connected to the violet. So to engage with it, bring it into your space. It is one of a very long-lasting bloom, and it blooms again and again and again. I have had African violets for years that just keep reblooming. And they are very very simple and easy to grow. And again, that is a understanding for us to look at the simplicity that really we only need simple things to grow. It's when we make things complicated or congested that we have issues with that. So allow yourself to move into the simplicity of what it is that we need to grow and to exist. So those were the messages brought forward today from the consciousness of Violet to Sharon, and we will go into a meditation with them. And I want to share, I see a comment here in the chat from Stacy. I love every aspect of that communication. Thank you for bringing that forward, and thank you to the consciousness of Violets. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Stacy, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with that. Just even moving into saying the word violets, you can't help but smile. It's such a joyful, simple, and sweet bloom that you feel it. You feel yourself move into that love frequency. So thank you for sharing that. And we'll just move into a simple meditation working with the consciousness of violets today and allow ourselves to connect in both the crown and the heart space and to welcome the clearing and the healing that violet brings forward to us. So if we allow ourselves, if we are in agreement to move into stillness, to move into greater space and oneness with our physical bodies. And shall we together take in a deep cleansing breath? Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale for 4. And exhale for 6. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Calling forth the consciousness of violet. Visualize the bloom in your mind's eye. Engage with its consciousness. Seeing the blossom slowly awaken as it expands throughout the crown. Shall we call forth clarity of mind? Shall we call forth clarity of mind? Shall we call forth clarity of mind? Shall we call forth expansion of our clarity? Shall we call forth the expansion of our clarity? Shall we call forth expansion within our clarity? Seeing the violet continuing to bloom, expanding out into the space surrounding you. Feel into the healing. And shall we take this expansion and move into the heart space? Leaning into your heartbeat. Feeling the violet blossom expand with each beat. Shall we call for the frequency of love? Shall we call for the frequency of love? Shall we call for the frequency of love? Feeling the love frequency ripple out into all that is surrounding you. Shall we call for purity of heart? Shall we call for purity of heart? Shall we call for purity of heart? Shall we call forth joy? Shall we call forth joy? Shall we call forth joy? Feeling into the pulsation of the heart and the crown. And calling forth the image and the remembrance of our childlike innocence. And allow that to guide you into your next experience. And shall we together take in another deep cleansing breath? Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale, feeling into your connection with the earth as you release. One more time. Inhale, breathing in all that is you. And releasing all that does not serve you. And allow yourself to gently move back into your space, into your bodies. Slowly open your eyes when you are ready. And welcome back. We thank the consciousness of Violet for sharing in this experience, in this journey of healing, clearing, release, and remembrance. And may we take this with us, knowing that it is available to us at any moment to simply allow ourselves to be still and to call forth the consciousness of Violet, to work with matters of the heart and matters of the mind, to allow ourselves to be free from that which keeps us stuck, to remember to go back to the beginning and bring forth that childlike purity and make things simple for ourselves. So we thank the consciousness of the flower realm, the consciousness of Violet, LaOta of the sun and of the sun, for sharing in this sacred space together. And to each of you who participated, we thank you. And we look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same channel, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wish you honor, respect, and gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action for a brilliant, beautiful, and buoyant rest of your week. And Lakesh and Veritas, everyone.